Welcome to the Ganmain Sports Ground.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're back here at the Ganmain Sports Ground after a 1 week break. Back-to-back home games here for the Lions at the Den. And today the Lions take on the Griffith Swans. Pretty coolish sort of a day, dry, cool, sunny day. Pretty good, really good conditions for football. Bit of breeze favouring the north end of the ground. We'll welcome today Baz. Once again, he's on the images, and his assistant Tammy in the back of the box. She'll be working her helping to keep the images on cue. Looks like a full afternoon of sun, so she might have to dumb down some of those full images. Baz has taught Tammy how to do that. And we'll cross to Andrew Corbett, our commentator. Andrew, some changes for the Lions this week.
Yeah, thanks very much, Guy. It's good to be back here again this week at the Ganmain Sports Ground for a good game of football between the ladder leaders, Ganmain, Grong Madong and Griffith, that sit fifth on the ladder in the Riverina Football League. Few inclusions this week for Griffith. Main one being Henry Delves, returning to the club from Canberra, played there in their grand final side last year, so that's a big inclusion, a big forward for Griffith. And for the Lions, Nate Hamlin and Jesse Lander are out of the side today, and coming back in is Tommy Benulis and Kirk Mahon. There's good welcome to a lot of those listeners out there. There's a few boys from Sydney playing in the Griffith side, and of course Tommy B from Sydney, so welcome to those listeners and watchers in Sydney to the game today, and I'm sure we'll be entertained with a real close contest. This corresponding game last year, Griffith came and come away with a good victory against the Lions. The Lions couldn't contain them last year, so looking for Griffith, this is probably their best side they've had in so far this year. Looking for a really good close contest. The Lions coming off a really strong victory against Witten last week. Will be looking to press on. They've got some big games coming up against Mangapla and Turvey Park over the next couple of weeks, so they'll be looking to cement their spot there on top of the ladder.
So, Andrew, the Lions, as we know last year in that semi-final, second semi down at Narrandera, came up against the Swans, and the Swans bounced the Lions out of that game, forced them into the preliminary final against Turvey Park, and of course the rest is history. Turvey Park overwhelmed the Lions in that last quarter. Griffith went to play against Turvey Park and couldn't get over Turvey Park in that grand final, so perhaps a little bit of a needle there for the Lions today.
Yeah, certainly, Guy. Griffith bundled the Lions into that preliminary final last year over at Robertson Oval, so they'll be looking to redeem themselves today, and probably got something more matters as well. It's 100 games for Tommy Anderson, 100 games of first grade football for Ganmain Grong Madong, so congratulations to Tommy Anderson today. Returned to the Lions for last week's game against Leeton and played very well, and they'll be looking to do well for Tommy today.
Yeah, well, he did. He came into the game really in the second half. We know that it wasn't a tough hit out against the Crows, but the further the game went, the more involved Tom Anderson and the more involved he got, and so he'll be looking to just go forward with that form today. Andrew mentioned those viewers down in Sydney that hopefully picked up on the link, and they've got a link to the players here in the Griffith side today. Well, this might be an opportunity for us to plug to them our raffle, the raffle for the car that we've got going there. I'll bring it up on the screen. The club are raffling a RAV4 for $100 per ticket. It will be drawn at the Lions presentation night in October. So you can jump on there and scan that barcode, and that'll take you to that fantastic prize of that RAV4. And the car's not at the ground again today, but I'm led to believe in the home games coming, probably against Turvey, might be a biggish game. The car will be here and paraded around the ground again, but great promotion there for the club, and anyone will win it and be we wouldn't mind if opposition people win it. That'd be all the better, Andrew. Just good promotion for us.
That's right, Guy. Yeah, no, big major raffle for the club this year, the RAV4. So get yourself a ticket. You've got to be in it to win it. Some really good matchups today in this game. Dan Foley and Nathan Richards for Griffith in the ruck. Dan Foley's been great form for the Lions, and yeah, that'll be a really great tussle. Matty Hamlin in the midfield there. I'm expecting Tommy Baxter to pick him up. The number 2 for the Griffith Swans, and another dangerous player in there as well as Cooper Kilpatrick, who's kicked a few goals for her. He's made Sydney's Team of the Year last year on the half-back flank, so he's a very good player. So and down back, Ben Walsh has played more of that lockdown role the last few weeks with his brother Josh out of the side with that ankle injury. Should be back next week, but yeah, Ben's been playing that uncustomary role of just locking down the opposition key forward instead of being that sweeping intercept marking role previously had, which has been sort of covered by Zach Burhop and Sam Martin across that half-back for the Lions that have been in very good form. So, yeah, plenty of great matchups around the ground. And, of course, you've got Jack Powell playing today against his brother Tom. So we'll be watching that contest pretty closely, Guy.
Thanks a lot for that intro, Andrew, and we look forward to the game, look forward to your call.
So the Lions are kicking to the road end, Griffith to the dam end, and Richards takes that out of the ruck, but he's wrapped up in a tackle, and the umpire will have to ball that up again. Richards taps that one down through the hands of Kirkman. Kicked off the ground by Baxter, into the hands of Tommy Tyson. He's kicking the long one down into the forward line, sitting under his Jack Sussay through the hands of Seb Hamlin. One over the top, and Delves gets the first goal for Griffith. First goal for the Swans. Puts them on the board.
Well, anyone can read the clock there as good as I can. 30 seconds took, Andrew, for the Swans to take it down there and score that opener. Yes, we know it's going to be a totally different ball game to last week, the Lions against the Crows.
Yes, Griffith with that first clearance.
We have mentioned that the breeze is favouring that end of the ground, but the breeze didn't have anything much to do with that. It was just a clearance by the Swans. The ball's gone missing over the back somewhere.
They've just found it. It's been 3 paddocks away.
Yes. Probably something for the future here. We'll probably see the committee erect some netting to. That's very popular now around the grounds, Andrew.
Yes. Most grounds have got netting. We have got netting on the junior oval, but yeah, that's another project down the line.
We'll get into that 21st century eventually.
They finally got the ball back to the centre of the ground. Ready to recommence. Griffith with the first. Foley up early. Through the hands of Richards, tapped by Kirkman onto Aaron Proctor, through the hands of Matty Hamlin. He regathers. Lions a bit of a fumble there at the moment. Gathered by Richards, he clears it out of the centre there. Tom Quinn in front, but it's a mark there to Griffith in Spencer. Very good player for the Swans. And good use of the body there by Northey, I think, on that occasion on Seb Hamlin. He takes a mark, and he'll go back and have another shot, second shot on goal for the Swans. Yeah. Early in this first quarter.
Yeah, outmanoeuvred Seb on that occasion. A little bit bigger in the body. Might be a bit more experienced too. Comes in, right foot. Yep, goal, Swans. 2 straight goals to the Swans. Inside 2.5, 3 minutes.
Lions a bit shell-shocked at the moment, Guy.
Yes, they'll have to lift out of that. They won't want to be sightseers too long at this rate. It's only early, but Sam Martin will be rallying the troops.
Yes, Heath Norby's played at a number of clubs. I think he's had a stint in the VFL there at one stage, so very experienced player for the Griffith Swans, and he's another one back into their side today.
This big Griffith ruckman, Andrew, he's a handful.
Yes, Richard's very strong. He protects the space under the ball very well, and Whereas Dan Foley, the last few weeks, has got that front position. He's going to have a real task on his hands today, getting there with Nathan Richards. Richards wins the tap, tries to kick that one off the ground. Kirkman comes through, gathered by Foley. Hand pass out to Hamlin, on to Lucas Hattie. Sends this one into the forward line deep. Under this is Benulis and takes a good, strong mark. In front of Riley Lucas. Boy from Sydney.
First inside 54A to the Lions. Couldn't be in better hands. Tom Benulis. I think Andrew counted up. We got in both teams today. We've got a total of 7 Toms, I think Andrew said. So Tom Benulis come in. Right foot. No, he sprayed that one to the right. Offline. One behind. Baz, the only Tom we haven't got playing is Tom Jones. A lot of the younger people won't know who that is, will they, Baz? Wait for the Swans to bring it in.
Jack Ralston has those duties. He's going to go to the short, into the pocket. Swans look to play on quickly. Through Wallace. Cut off by Conley. Hand pass to Hamlin. He'll have a quick snap at goal, but it's fallen into the hands of Cunell there for the Swans. Deep in defence. Comes to the broadcast side. Kilpatrick and Hattie. Kilpatrick uses his experience there, nudges Hattie under the ball, gets a hand pass off the ground, back to Jack Ralston, back to Kilpatrick, tight on the boundary line there. Dodgers round one, back to Ralston, on to Tyson, swings on that trusty left foot forward, and he finds Norvey all on his own, 50 metres from goal.
He's going to have to be more closely checked, Andrew. Can't give a player that quality latitude.
Yes, he was given a 5 metres there, and
he'll kick from outside of the arc of the 50, I reckon. As he comes in, Baz is right behind it. He's drifted off that line to try and purchase a bit more, and that's the way it finished up. No, Griffith player claiming a mark. Umpire conferring with the goal umpire. Going to be paid, I think, Andrew.
Yeah, it is paid.
Yeah, well
right
done
on the line. Front of the points.
Well done to the Swans. Watched it all the way in the pack. He said, well, I'm going to mark this. Don't just think it's going to be a goal. Now it's a goal.
Griffith get their third. 6 minutes into this quarter. First quarter. It's all Griffith.
Really good start to the Swans here at the Den. Lions 1 single solitary behind. Swans 3 straight goals. 6.5 minutes gone. Lions will have to arrest this, Andrew, shortly.
Yeah, well, they've got to start to win some clearances out of the centre.
Yep.
Get that ball forward. It's probably a 2 or 3 goal wind, I suppose, but
well, Swans did well out here on this flank, below us on the to keep it in.
No one wins that one on then, but it's cleared by Matt Hamlin. Kicks one high on his left foot. Under this again is Benulis. Goes through his hands. Sharking the ball is Jack McKegg. He has a running shot at goal, but it's touched on the line by Jack Ralston. He takes the mark. Yeah.
Mark paid. Yep.
Brings it to the broadcast side. He's got Richards leaping for this one. Jack McKegg in front. Down to the ground. Dan Foley kicks across goal looking for Butterfield, but coming in to cut that one off is Griffith, picked up by Powell. His hand pass is smothered. Cleared by Lucas. High. Under this is Delves. Takes a chest mark in the centre of the ground. Quickly plays on. Goes wide. Looking for Tom Powell. Ball's raced out there. Gathered by Kirkman, but Sam Martin has taken over the sidelines. There'll be a throw in.
We've got a throw in over there in front of the Nutrien guys there. A lot of guys who belong to support the Nutrien, selling their livestock, and they buy farm chemicals and product from Nutrien.
Ball thrown in, shallow throw, but play on, says the umpire, picked up by Griffith here. They have a running shot at goal, and that's their 4th. It's a bit like deja vu from last year, Guy. I think Griffith kicked 6 unanswered goals last year in this game.
Well,
it's happening again.
Andrew, we were talking here at the 3/4 time break in the reserves, and Griffith guys are out there on the ground. You said, oh, these Griffith guys, they're up and about. There's a lot of chatter, and well, that's the way they've run out.
Yeah, they're very switched on. Lions got a lot of work to do.
We're only under 10 minutes into the quarter, but it can get late early if you get a long way behind. Sam Martin, he won't panic yet, but he'll be wanting a major or two on the board shortly.
Foley and Richards are right. Richards wins that one down. Tom Quinn's come into the centre and he gets a clearing kick out towards the broadcasting box. Race for the ball from McKegg and his Griffith opponent. He's wrapped up in a tackle, back to Conley. Short pass back to Matt Hamlin. Dodges around one, sends it forward. Goes over the heads of Bernulis and Lucas for Griffith. Bernulis gathers this one in. It's on the ground again. Players diving in on this one, picked up by Griffith. Bit of a grubbing kick out of the area there. Race for the ball by Shannon Butterfield. He tries to gather it in. Gets a hand pass out. Smothered. And it's a push in the back to Shannon Butterfield. No, it's a push in the back to Griffith. Free kick to Griffith. To Wallace. He goes wide. Finds his teammate in that far half forward flank. Ball's low, marked by Dells on the wing there. Griffith in front, he sends this one long. Under this is Burhop, it's gone over his head there. Numbers for Griffith here. Tom Powell's a race for the ball. Gathered by Dan Foley, he's thrung away. Clearance here by Sam Martin, comes wide looking for Tom Bernulis. Ball bounces in front of him. But it's out over the sideline. It'll be a throw in. Once again, we'll see a throw in out there in front of the Beaumont Tiles, those new sponsors of this year. So if you're doing your bathroom, your kitchen, whatever, search up, go and have a look at Beaumont Tiles. Bernulis and Richards in the ruck. Richards taps that down. He's been dominant there with the taps. Picked up by Baxter. Swings this one around. Sends it forward. Ball's punched over the back there and it's out over the sideline. Be a throw in that far pocket. Yeah, more good sponsors out there. Harris Contracting, Sean and Brian. They're very busy. Might have slowed up at the moment with the dry weather. They'd probably like a bit of a break too. Ball's thrown in there. Ben Walsh in the ruck. Clearance there by Matt Hamlin. Goes wide. Looking for Tom Anderson. He's a race for the ball. He gathers it in. Looks to come inside. Kicks one low, looking for Matt Hamlin. He's bumped off it there. Griffith player taps it forward. Picked up by Baxter. Gathered by Northey. Ball kicked forward by the Swans. Sitting under this is Ben Walsh. Tries to mark. Spoiled by Delves. Grabbed by Tom Powell. Back to Spencer on that occasion. It's another goal to Griffith. The Lions, one single solitary behind. Swans, 5 straight goals. Less than 12 minutes gone here in the first quarter at the Den.
Nice and tight, Jacko.
Well, we mentioned, Andrew, that the Lions wouldn't have it on their own terms today, and they're finding out. Yep, they certainly are, Guy. We could expect this to be a danger game for the Lions, and certainly showing that. Matt Hamlin being, well, tightly held there in the centre, being that's what happens when you're a good player. Well, your opponent steps up and says, well, I'm going to accept this challenge, and he hasn't been able to break free like he normally does. Might have a blood rule, is it? Yep, Powell coming, Tom Powell for Griffith, coming from the ground. So the Lions can, hands on hip, suck in a few big breaths, and they've really got to concentrate to get on the board in this first quarter. Tom Bernulis has come into the ruck. Richards have been dominant in this first 13 minutes. Gathered by Richards end, wrapped up by Powell, gets his kick away to no one in particular. Ball's on the ground there, coming through is Norby, gets a hand pass out to Jack Rowston, sends this one forward, but it's marked by Zach Burhop for the Lions. Switches wide, he's got Matt Hamlin on the wing here in front of the sheds. Can chip one short to Jack Powell, it's gone over his head. Numbers here for the Lions, they can raffle this. Powell comes back inside to Kirkman. It's a grubbing kick for this, almost marked by Butterfield. He's been held on that occasion. Gets a free kick, Guy. Yeah, held without it, Andrew. Better set up from the Lions, Andrew, coming out of the back line there.
Sends one long, sitting under this is Peck. Punched by Colonel there. Gathered high there, was it over the shoulder to Rowston?
Yep. Yeah, no arguments there. He's got those lovely pink boots on.
Goes wide, looking for Perezi there. He dodges around Peck. Looks to come back to Richards. It's a grubbing kick. He takes a low mark in front of Foley. Comes back to Jack Rowston. Sets up a lot of play there in defence for the Swans. Hand passes one over the top. It's on the ground there. It's gathered by the Swans. Comes wide to young Isaac Conlon. But his kick falls into the arms of Jack Powell on the wing. Griffith getting numbers back in defence. Clogging it up. Kicks one short to Tom Quinn in front of the broadcasting box. He plays on, looks to send this forward. Under it is Foley. Richards there, manning him up. Young Jake Fairman's under this one. He can't gather it in. Diving in is Bernulis. Conlon for Griffith there. Hand pass to no one. Out the back to Griffith. Into the hands of Jack Rowston. He goes wide and finds Spencer on that far. Finds Baxter on that far half-back flank. He goes long. Kicks it high. Under the ball is numbers here for the Lions. Ben Walsh is tackled. Ball spills out onto Cooper Kilpatrick. Swings around on his left and low. Has a shot at goal. And it's through from behind.
Swans' first minor score.
Clearance there by Burhop to Martin. Back to Burhop. Goes long to the wing. Finds a running Matt Hamlin. He's got space in front of him. Kicks inside on his left, looking for Ben Walsh, but he's been bowled by that one. Went straight through his legs. Gathered by Girdler for the Swans. He goes forward, finds Northey on his own at centre forward. He can have a running shot at goal. Looking good, but it's just drifted to the right. Another behind. Well, they're second behind to the Swans. Burhop inside to Bernulis. On to Jack Powell. Kicks one over the top to Kirk Mann. The Lions starting to find a bit of the ball now, but haven't registered much on the scoreboard. He goes low to Tom Anderson. Can chip one over the top to Jack McKeag on the 50. Wide though. Looks to come inside and finds Jake Sullivan. He's about 30 metres out from goal on a 40-degree angle.
Lions need a steadier here, Andrew. You haven't got to be a rocket science to work that out. Great vision right behind the number 39. Distance won't be a problem. Comes in, right foot. No, it's gone across. One behind.
Go, Jackie.
The Lions, two behinds. Swans, 5-2, 32.
Jack Rowston brings us in. It's been touched. Play on, says the umpire. Conlon's gathered up. He swung around a tackle by Tom Anderson. Deemed to be a sling tackle. And it goes free kick to Isaac Conlon.
They can go a bit either way, those ones.
Yeah. Comes back to the centre of the ground to Riley Lucas. Dodges around McKeag. Chips one short. Finds Tom Powell. Back on the ground after that blood rule. Goes to come wide looking for Cunell. He takes the mark. He can play on here. Sends it long. Looking for Delves. Deep. Under it is Ben Walsh. Forces him under the ball. Into the hands of Burhop. Chips back inside. Finds Bernulis. I don't think it was 15. Play on, says the umpire. He sends this one forward. Finds Aaron Proctor. He can come inside to McKeag. Lions starting to control the ball here now. Looks to send this long. Looking for Matt Hamlin. He takes a mark on the 50. He's got Bernulis in the pocket. Swings on. Chips one with his right. And it's deemed a push here, is it?
Both blokes did the exact same thing.
He's paying Bernulis, so is he paid the mark or interference, Andrew? It doesn't matter anyway.
It's a kick to the Lions. A shot on goal.
Badly needed one.
They badly need a goal here to stem the flow.
Andrew, the Swans defenders playing, up and about. They're coming out very positive. Of course, they've got the score on the board, but they're switching and they're doing everything right.
Yeah, they're trying to get that ball into their forward line. Once they get to the centre of the ground, get it in long and quick.
Tom Bernulis has pulled it off for the Lions. You saw it all the way on Baz's work there.
First goal to the Lions.
Lions open their account now. 1-2-8. The Swans are 5-2-32. We've got that new sponsor down there, MacArthur Real Estate. I talked about it last week. Errol Sutherland. Gets around this community a lot. So if you're buying or selling in Ganmain, you talk to Errol Sutherland. He can help you.
Back to the centre of the ground. Nailing in the ruck. Richards is having a spell. Good, strong tackle there on Proctor.
Got a Swans player holding his head there.
Yeah, Cooper Kilpatrick slow to get to his feet. The umpire will just have to hold this up here. Just accidental knock to the head there. He's got to his feet. Umpire's going to throw it up. Foley wins the ruck. Down to Kirkman. Kicks this one high. Out in front of Tommy Anderson. Takes a mark. Looks to swing around and send this back into the forward line. Through the hands of Matt Hamlin, gathered by Tommy Tyson, gets a handball, slow to Rouston, another one inside to Kilpatrick, he's recovered from that knock, kicks it forward, race for the ball here across half back by Sam Martin, gathers it in, gets one wide to Jackson Connolly, chip one short, finds Tom Sussay on the wing there for the Lions, he just holds it up, comes inside, but it's cut off by Tommy Tyson there, he can't take the mark, but he regathers, swings around on that left, kicks it high, sitting under this is Burhop. Can't take the mark. Gathered by Freeman. He's tackled. Burhop's on the ball and just copped one high there from Girdler. And Burhop will take the kick in the centre of the ground. He goes short, finds Kirkman. Just shy of the centre there. He's corralled though. He has to give one back to Seb Hamlin. Gets a grubbing kick into the forward line there. Gathered by Jake Sullivan, but it's cut off there by Perezi there for Griffith. He can go wide. But his kick's almost cut off by Sullivan. Back into the hands of Tom Anderson. Has a shot on goal. And it's just out on the full.
Swans players just reading it better off the Lions' boots at times, Andrew.
Yes, they've got good anticipation back there at the moment, Guy. They're just sharking that kick.
They're really up and about.
Certainly done their homework as Rowson comes to the broadcasting side. He's got Barter. Ball's out in front of him. He can run onto this one. Chip short looking for Northey. Spoiled there by Tom Quinn. Coming through his Delves. Tapped out of his sight by Sam Martin. Back to Tom Quinn. Aaron Proctor's wrapped up in a tackle. He's caught there by Tom Powell. And he can go wide, and good strong lead there by Northey.
This should be a fairly easy shot for Northey out there. He's only going to have to kick from a bit over 30. Got the breeze over his left shoulder.
Got the break on Seb Hamlin there. Got a bit of space on him, a bit of separation.
Yep. Good understanding there. The Swans, they, like you said, Andrew, they just they know the Northey on the lead mostly and put it out in front. I think this one's gone across the face, hasn't it?
Yeah, he's hooked that one. It's through from behind.
Bit of a let off there for the Lions.
Sam Martin to bring this back in. Comes to the shed side, to the canteen side, kicks this one high, looking for Manulis, but he's bumped out of the way by Cunel. The ball's on the ground there, wrapped up in a tackle there as the Griffith opponent by Proctor. Barter that was. Manulis in the ruck. Tommy Tyson up. Gathered by Powell. Taps one out. Gathered by Spencer. And he grubs one forward over the sidelines. Another throw in there. A bit closer to goal for the Swans.
And we've got Choices Flooring there. So with that renovation, you're looking for tiles and you'll be looking for flooring. So Choices Flooring. There they go.
Bernulis and Delves. Bernulis with front position, but it's tapped down to Kilpatrick. Sends this one high to the goal square. Sitting under this is Seb Hamlin and Northey. Seb almost marks. The ball's on the ground. It's kicked off the ground there by Northey out over the boundary line. Another throw in.
And local sponsors over there, the Sports Club, where the players meet after the game. But, of course, they've got the function tonight at the showground. We'll talk about that later.
Ball's thrown high. Ben Walsh taps this down into the path of Bernulis. He's wrapped up in a tackle. Can't get it free by Tom Powell.
Held to him. Time running out for the Lions for their second major for the quarter.
Delves wins the tap. Punched off the ground there by Ben Walsh. Channel Butterfield held there. Free kick will go to him across half-back. Gets a hand pass to Sam Martin. Runs wide there. Hand passes out to Lucas Hattie. Comes back to Ben Walsh. Swans covering here well. He chips one short to Aaron Proctor. Goes wide to Sam Martin. Falls at his feet. On to Kirk Mahon. Hand pass to Tom Quinn. He dodges around one. Pressure here from the Swans. Goes inside looking for Butterfield. Gathered by Dan Foley. Hand passes back into Proctor. He gets his hand pass away. He's tackled. Ball spills free. Gathered by Barter. Kicks one forward. Numbers here. Delves has got it for the Swans. Can they get a late one? Over the top to the Griffith, but it's marked there. Deep in defence by Seb Hamlin. Looks to switch this quickly. Numbers here for the Lions. Bernulis has got it. Takes one bounce. Takes two. Runs to half-back. Over the top to Tom Anderson. On to Tom Sussay. It's the three Toms. Inside to his brother Jack. Goes through his hands. Grabbed by Tom Tyson. On to Cooper Kilpatrick. Sends this one high. Sitting under it is Tom Powell, but it's a good mark to Ben Walsh from behind. Goes wide. Finds Sam Martin in front of the scoreboard. Has to come back inside. Elects to go wide again. Onto his left foot. Griffith corralling very well. Race for the ball here by Sullivan for the Lions. He overruns it. Gathered by Griffith there. He breaks the tackle there. Baxter kicks one high, but Jack Sussay marks it on this occasion. Across half-back, comes inside to Lucas Hattie. He can switch across to the scoreboard, to the club side to Bernulis. Sends one long and high. Jack Powell's under this one. Read it very well. Takes a good strong mark in front of Lucas. Not much time left on the clock. He's 50 metres from goal, kicking into a strong breeze.
Jacko, go forward.
He's been getting a few options, but he fancies the distance, Andrew.
He's going to have to go back and kick it.
Too late now to muck around.
Runs around, sends it on its way. It's high to the goal square. Almost marked by Jack McKegg on the line. Clearance by Griffith. Almost marked by Lucas. A diving mark at his feet there. Trapped by Tom Sussay for the Lions. And the umpire's going to call for a ball up. 45 metres out from goal.
Yeah, a bit of an indication how good the breeze is, because he gave that Powell, gave that everything, and it just did everything right, but it just couldn't carry fully.
Bernulis and Lucas in the ruck. Gathered by Kilpatrick. Sends this one high. Under this is Jack Sussay. Goes through his hands. Gathered by Griffith there. On to Tom Powell. Can chip one over the top.
Saved by the siren, I think, the Lions on that occasion, Andrew.
Yes.
Griffith
pressing again, Guy.
Yeah, raging into their forward line like they did all the quarter. And good luck to them. But I think, as we mentioned, when the Lions went in there, going in their forward line with their little bit of chipping, the Swans were just reading it far better. They were able to spoil, and yeah, the Lions under the pump. They haven't been used to that this year much so far.
They're going to have to regroup this quarter.
Yes.
It was interesting then to see Nathan Richards spend probably 10 minutes of that quarter off the ground, and the Lions had their share of the ball when he wasn't out there, but I think he's okay. He was about to come back on when that siren went.
Yeah, and the only downside of that, Andrew, the Lions weren't able to capitalise on the scoreboard while he was off the ground. So
yes.
Anyway, that was the quarter the way we saw it. We'll have a drink and a break, and we'll come back. We've definitely got a different game on our hands today, and we're happy to bring it to you.
Amazing service and carefully sourced homewares and furniture. Fisher and Farmer.
Coolaman Butchery, a great place to meet up. Yummy yum yum.
For all your AG, vet chemicals, fertilizer and bulk fuel, go to Logan and Hitchens.
Crowds dispersed from the huddle here at the Den. We get underway for the second quarter. Lions will have the breeze this time, Andrew, but I don't think the think the Swans are playing a lot better than what the Breeze is.
Yes, they were on fire that first 15 minutes, Guy. Foley and Richards in the ruck. Foley jumps early, Richard grabs it out of the ruck, gets a clearance forward there, and Tom Powles comes charging out, wrapped up in a good tackle there by Proctor and Mahon. That was Whitworth, sorry. Richards and Foley, no one gets that decisive tap there. It's at the feet of the ruckman, and umpire call for another ball up. Richards taps that down, regathers, kicks this one high to the forward line. Under this is Powell, spoiled by Jack Sussay, and ball's wrapped up there, 40 metres out from goal, Griffith goal. Richards selects to hang back from this one in the centre of the ground. Foley and Northey in the ruck. Foley taps that down, gathered by Rouston. Barter tries to break through one tackle there. Dean to be caught high though. It's a free kick to Barter. Put the palm out to force his Lions opponent off, and second opponent, Dean to tackle him high.
Lions bench questioning that one, Andrew, like the Swans player went to palm off and then which he did, and then the Lions player was penalised for high tackle, so that's a bit interesting.
Anyway, Barter's got the kick. He's similar kick to Jack Powell earlier there in that first quarter. He's going to have to kick this from 50 into a strong breeze. Runs around and plays on, and tapped through by Seb Hamlin in the goal square. Sam Martin to bring this one in. Goes short, finds Jack Sussay. Back to Sam Martin. Looks to push this wide. Finds Ben Walsh. Comes inside, finds Jack Sussay. He can switch back to Tom Quinn at centre half back for the Lions. Goes to the centre of the ground, finds Dan Foley. He can play on, elects to send this long and quickly forward. Under it is Bernulis, almost marked there by Jack McKegan. The umpire's paid it.
Yeah, paid it. Yeah, good long kick there by Dan Foley. Broke up the pack a bit. I know he kicked to a marking contest, but Jack McKeag was up to the contest and pulled it in.
You see options there for the Lions if they can get that ball in long and quick with Bernulis and Peck down there and Jack McKeag that can take a strong mark. And those Crummers, last week we had 12 of those forwards, small forwards, kick goals. So that's a goal to Jack McKeag. First of the second quarter for the Lions, just what they needed.
Yeah, I think, Andrew, particularly with that little bit of breeze behind you, don't about chipping too wide on the flanks with that marking power on the forward line. Just we down there on the behind that northern goal, we've got Alan Harris McDonald from Wagga and Elders Wagga and John Bance and Co. We welcome their sponsorship.
Foley and Richards in the ruck. Foley wins that one down. To the path of Gerda there for the Swans. Kirkman keeps it forward, picked up by Jack McKeag, sends this one high. Under it is Foley and Baxter. Tap ball by Tyson into the hands of McKeag. He's tackled when he didn't quite have possession, and the umpires awarded a free kick to Jack McKeag at centre half forward for the Lions.
I think Jack's experienced enough not to drag it in, and he just thought, I'll just wait a minute, this bloke will tackle me. And he was able to grab a free kick.
Goes short, centre half forward, finds Dan Foley. But they have to kick from 50.
Yeah, a bit of a breeze behind him. Should be right for Dan. Yeah, every bit of 50. That's you can see the arc there. So he'll be kicking just outside the 50 when he lets it go. Comes in on that right foot, buys plenty of distance, I reckon. No, last minute tap over the back.
Touched right on the line.
The Lions 2-3-15, the Swans 5-4-34. Bit over 4 minutes gone in the second term.
The ball to come back in by the Swans. Looks like Parisi there to bring this back one. He's coming to the front of the Griffith box there. Ball's close to the line there. Kilpatrick tries to dodge around one, and he's caught with the ball. Free kick to Peck. Looks to bring this one in quickly for the Lions to centre forward. Benula sits under this one. Spoiled by Lucas, cleared by Griffith. Into the hands of Kirkman at centre forward. He's confident enough to go back and have a shot, Kirk. Have to be his very best.
I think the Swans were trying to buy the boundary line out there, and that defensive just wouldn't go out, Andrew, and the player ended up getting caught with the ball. Kirkman, a good chance for this one, Andrew.
It'd have to be his very best kick. He did kick one in that grand final a couple of years ago. And he struck this well, but it's fallen just short through another behind for the Swans, the Lions.
Off hands, as they say.
Yes.
Lions 2-4-16, Swans 5-4-34. Lot better opener for the Lions.
Jack Rowson takes a bounce, kicks wide to the scoreboard side, but straight into the arms of Dan Foley. Swans finding hard to get it out of defence. Chips one short to Burhop. He's under pressure, got hand one over the top to Susse. Back to Foley. Swans pressuring here to Burhop. He's going to have to kick this one back inside, and it's fallen into the arms of Kilpatrick. Swans with numbers back there. It's that crowded in that forward line for the Lions. Kilpatrick looks to bring this back to the goal square. Finds Pereza. Goes forward and finds DeMamel. Marks in front of Peck.
Again, they're confident enough to do the switch. Lions will have to intervene to get it back off him.
Under this is Benulis. Almost takes a mark, gathered by Kilpatrick. Kicks around the corner, and umpire deems it to be deliberate. We're all waiting in anticipation for that signal from the umpire, and it was there.
Yeah, well, he had no Swans player out here, and he gave it a good line kick if it was rugby league, and he was penalised.
Ball comes in from Ben Walsh to Tom Anderson. Kicks this one high. Numbers under this one. Ball's on the ground there. Gathered by Delves. Kicks this one high. The Lions outnumber the Swans here. Burhop's got it. Chips one short. Finds Powell. They just got to be clever how they go in here now and just don't bomb it in. Goes low, but it's been cut off by the Swans there. By Girdler. And it'll be a ball up.
Andrew, you can just see the Lions just a bit better trying to lower their eyes, but the Swans still, they're covering them in defence as yet.
Yes, they're getting numbers back there deep, just making it difficult for the Lions and protecting that lead they got.
Well played and well coached by the Swans.
Whereas that first quarter for the Swans, it was very open and they scored freely in those first 15 minutes. There's a clearance here by Spencer, comes back inside to Powell. Tom, that is. He kicks it high, but it's all Ben Walsh for this one. The Lions 3-1. Goes short, finds Seb Hamlin. Can force it wide. Has to go long. Under this is Ralston and Connolly. Connolly keeps his feet for the Lions. Gathers it in, gets a hand pass to Peck. Back to Connolly. Chips one short for Proctor. Gathered by Ralston. Ball spills free. Gathered by Proctor onto Benulis. Gathered by McKegg. He breaks 3-1 and has a shot on goal.
Offline,
and he's missed it.
He's usually hot on those.
He had a little bit of time there, just a steady.
It's marvellous what that pressure, the pressure the Swans have brought, Andrew. It's in the back of your mind. Am I going to be tackled? Whereas in the last few games, you know, Jack he'd think, well, I've certainly got time for this, but that pressure the Swans have brought just changes your mind.
Yeah, the Swans' pressure's been real good, real good. Rouston taking his time to bring this one back in. Just decide whether he goes to the far side or this side. Elects to go up the centre of the ground. Looking for Tom Power. Coming in as Burhop. Takes a good mark. Plays on quickly. Sends this one long and low, but it's drifted out of bounds on the full.
Lions have got to straighten it up because the Fairbreeze got behind that. Straighter kick, he could have made the goal, made the distance. Oh no, it hasn't gone out in the full, it's throw in, Andrew.
Throw in, it's touch, bounced before the line.
Yeah.
Richards and Bernulis in the ruck. It's at the feet of Richards there. Griffith bloke tackled there. Players everywhere, gathered by Marn. He's wrapped up in a tackle and the umpire will ball it up again. Stack of players deep in the Lions forward line. Richards gathers this one out of the ruck, clears the ball forward, but sitting under is Matt Hamlin. Spoiled by Griffith there to Jake Fairman, on to Seb Hamlin. Gets a hand pass back to Jack Sussay. He can swing wide to Sam Martin. He's got plenty of space in front of him. Gets one short and finds Jake Sullivan on the far side there. I don't think distance should... He's going to have to kick from 50. It's going to have to be a good kick. The Lions just got those shallow entries into the 50 there. They can't get that ball deep because there's just abundance of numbers there of the Swans.
Yeah, well, he was pushed wide on that entry. Yeah, he's got under that a little bit, so it's a marking contest. I can see Tom Bernulis, but he can't bring it in.
Good smother there by Matt Hamlin. The ball's on the ground there. Players diving in on it. He gathers it again and swings around on his left on this occasion, and he's kicked a goal. The Lions have finally forced one through the big sticks.
Who converted, Andrew?
Matt Hamlin.
All right, well,
his right kick was smothered and then he's
was good
regathered.
Recovered on his left. Well, you're not going to keep him out of it the whole game. The Swans have close checked him, but Matt Hamlin risen to the occasion there. Desperately needed by the Lions. They'd be looking for a couple more before the long break.
They'll be looking to get back on even terms at half-time if they can.
Pretty entertaining game, Andrew.
That breeze, if you look at the flags, has dropped right off.
Yeah, it's a little bit intermittent.
Dan Foley tries that tap down. It's gone in the arms of Jack Powell. He's wrapped up in a strong tackle. Good tackle there by Barter. Foley and Richards. Richard tries to grab it out of the ruck. Coming through is Tom Powell there. Dan Foley wraps up Rouston. And the umpire calls it back for another ball up. It was almost free of the contest. He says, give it to me, I'll throw it up again.
Plenty of talk out there from both sides. We can pick it up here.
No one touches that one. It hits the ground. Gathered by Jack Powell. Kicks it forward for the Lions. Bounces back inside. Coming through is Jake Fairman. He can't pick it up. Ball spills out the back to the Lions. Jack McKegg and Tom Anderson clash heads.
Clash of heads, yeah. Jack McKegg still down. He shrugs his head. Gets up a bit groggy. Up and going now.
Rouston with the kick. Comes back inside to Girdler. He lands awkwardly with that mark on his knee, but gets to his feet.
Jack McKegg coming off the ground for a bit of recuperation, Andrew.
Rouston gets it back to Jake Sullivan. Gets a hand pass to Peck. On to Tom Sussay. Tries to kick that off the ground. Picked up by Jack Rouston. Hand pass on the ground. Gathered by Jake Sullivan. His kick smothered. Griffith kick it forward and it's cut off by the Lions. He goes wide to Matt Hamlin. Takes the mark on that far wing. On to Sam Martin. Sends this one high, looking for Bernulis. He's got to run at this one. He's pushed forward. And the umpire's deemed to be pushed in the back.
Yeah, wasn't a lot in it, but it was there. Tom Bernulis was leading for the ball and interfered with from behind from his Swans opponent. Once again, Andrew, the Lions push wide, but it's going to come off. This is well inside Tom Bernulis' range.
As that breeze picks up again.
Yep, he's back again. Tom Bernulis comes in on that right-hand half-forward flank pocket area. Goal umpire just moves back a little bit and one behind.
Number behind to the Lions.
Lions 3-6-24, Swans 5-4-34.
Kernel brings it into Tom Tyson, holds it up in that far pocket. Goes short, finds Baresi there, but he can't take the mark. The ball's on the ground, gathered by Tom Anderson. Flicks one out the back to Tom Susse. He can't gather it in. Clearance by Tyson there, into the arms of Peck. The Lions have got to cut off across half forward there. He looks to come inside, finds Dan Foley on the 50. But it's all Griffith across the forward line. He finds Aaron Proctor on a good lead out from full forward. And he'll take a shot at goal, 35 metres out, straight in front.
Costly miss out there by the Swans defender in that back pocket area. He dropped that mark, and that's why they're up against this situation now. As Proctor comes in, it'll be a right foot kick inside the 50, and
he likes it.
Yeah, goal umpire doesn't move. The players clapped it home well before the goal umpire signalled.
As the Lions edge closer.
The Lions 4-6-30, Swans 5-4-34. Bit over 15 minutes gone in the second term here at the Den. The flags are back up, Andrew, so the Lions will want more out of the quarter yet. Jack Sasse leaves the ground. Lions working their interchange bench. Lucas Hattie streams back on. He'll be fresh. Try and get into the game.
Yeah, I think they'll just tell him to slow us down. So.
Foley and Richards in the ruck. It's been a good tussle between these two ruckmen. Richards uses his strength, barrels Foley out of the way. Tom Powell's been tackled high there. Gets it out to Northey. Plays on quickly. Helicopter kick forward there. Spencer overruns it, regathers. Tackled by Hattie there. Gets his hand pass away. Gathered by Barter. Back to Rosengreen. Good tackle there by Fairman. And he's deemed to be caught with the ball, Rosengreen.
Yeah,
Young Jake Fairman.
Umpire had no option there because he'd taken a few steps and then was caught in a tackle, wrapped up in a tackle, what you call that.
Kicks this one long, looking for Bernulis. He's got his arm held. Play on, says the umpire. Ball's gone over the back there. Rouse in a race for the ball. He overruns it. Bernulis tries to gather it in. Picked up by Richards. Fades the one handball out the back to Rouse, and he's wrapped up in a tackle. A good tackle by Peck. The umpire says, give it to me. Much disgust from the Ganmain faithful.
Lions thought they had a free kick here for sure. A lot of body work off the ball too, Andrew, here.
Yes, it's stepped up a notch or two as Richards taps this down into the path of Norby. Tries to keep it in play. It's out over the sideline.
And we'll see the throw in there in front of that regional hydraulics. That's Jason Hamlin. Not our Jason Hamlin, but Jason Hamlin from Regional Hydraulics.
Richardson Foley in the rock. Foley with front position, taps this down. Coming through is Butterfield. He's copped one in the back, and it'll be... No, it's Tommy Anderson, sorry. He had a push in the back from Tom Powell, and he takes the kick. Looks to chips this short lead from Matt Hamlin. It's gone over his head through the hands of Aaron Proctor, gathered by Richards. Breaks the tackle, kicks this one high, sitting under his Burhop. Spoiled by Sam Hamlin, gathered by Neelan there. On to Spencer, looking for Delves on a good lead. He marks it at centre half back. Griffith players streaming forward there. Spencer's on the lead. Sam Martin races out to this one, cuts it off and forces it wide. Back inside to Jake Fairman. Dodges around one. He's got time now, comes back inside. It's over the head of Ben Walsh. Numbers here for the Lions. Burhop birches through. Kicks this long, looking for Aaron Proctor. Good play by the Lions. Good quick play. Aaron Proctor looks to come inside, looking for Matt Hamlin, and the umpire has deemed he's taken that one. A real daisy cutter, inches from the ground.
Probably one of the best clearances the Lions has had for the day, Andrew.
Yes, well, while Griffith had numbers surging forward and that quick turnover, allowed the Lions to quickly get it back into their forward line.
They were up to the task around that flank on the eastern side of the ground. Sam Martin did well. The ball bounced, but he was able to trap it and get possession of it. Goal umpire, I reckon, doesn't move. The Lions one behind.
Through from behind.
Offline there. Lions 4-7-31. Swans 5-4-34. Lions getting there in behinds. They'll need better conversion. Wait for the ball to come back in. Of course, over there also we've got great sponsors in Grain Corp. Lots of farmers use that system, deliver their grain.
Ralston goes short to Northey in that far pocket. Lions zoning well, making it difficult for Griffith to get us out. Northey goes high towards the scoreboard. Under this is Richards and Foley.
Yeah,
but,
too much. He's overdone it there, Richards.
Yep.
Tried to sling Foley.
Out of the way.
Yep. Umpire's right on it.
He's in the marking contest. Foley sends this back in deep. And
50, I think. There's.
Yeah, it's just a bit of indiscretion there. I don't know
Yeah,
if
that's.
something was said or not, but
They weren't happy with the umpire's decision. Well, we know today in senior football they won't take that. They'll penalise you.
brings Dan Foley to within 30 metres out from goal. And the Lions get a late one here.
Dan Foley skips in on that right foot. Yeah, I think it's right. Yes, Major.
Umpire likes it. Jack Rouston's questioning him. He'd like the goal review there, but umpire's deemed it a goal.
Well, we got all the technology set up here, Andrew, but we haven't got goal reviews, and I don't think we ever will, which would be a great thing.
Baz might have it in his kit there somewhere.
Yeah, shouldn't mention it. We'll end up here with it next week. No, he said it needs another person, so we're, yep. But it's not much good at writing about the goal review because the blue was made by the Griffith player back chatting the umpire, Andrew, questioning. So that's where it started.
So back to the centre of the ground. Richards and Foley. Richards taps that down into the path of Baxter on that, Tommy Baxter, and he's wrapped up in the tackle there, and the umpire will ball it up.
Good close game here at the Den as we inch towards half-time.
Plenty of blocking and manhandling off the ball there. The ball comes down. Richards clearance there for the Swans. Goes into the forward line. Lucas Hattie under this one. Gathered by Spencer there. Dodges one way. Then centres this ball back to the centre of the ground. Under it is Jack Sussay. Races for the ball. Gathers it in. Clearance kick wide. It's Connolly and Rosengreen there. Rosengreen gathers the ball. Sprints around Connolly there. Looks to send this one back in long and low. It's a good shot at goal. It's a goal. Great goal.
Good reply from the Swans there. They've only had a couple of forays into their 50 this quarter. Lions 5-7, 37, Swans 6-4, 40. Nice tight game here at the Den. Plenty of skills, plenty of body work. Fair bit of talk amongst the players. Be even a little bit of sledging if we could pick it up, Andrew, but it's a very interesting game.
Yes, we've got the Griffith second grade sitting down below us, so there's a fair bit of yap coming out of them at the moment. And it's tapped down there to Matt Hamlin, gets a clearance to Dan Foley. Comes out to Jake Fairman, gathers this one in, swings around on his right, comes inside looking for Shannon Butterfield and finds him 40 metres out from goal.
Matt Hamlin's starting to get a bit of the ball, and we saw there Jake Fairman with his pace. Even though the ball bounced, he was good enough to change his direction and grab hold of it, affect that kick. Comes in, he's going to kick from every bit of 40, 45. We ride it home, it's a goal.
Quick reply from the Lions.
Lions 6-7, 43. First time they've hit the front for the day, on the cusp of half-time here at the Den. Lions 6-7, 43, the Swans 6-4, 40. They'll be keen to go again, Andrew. Put a bit of a stamp on before half-time. They won't get a big lead.
You'd imagine that breeze will drop in the second half a bit more consistently as Foley and Richards in the rucks, tapped over the top to Powell. He's gathered it in, but he's wrapped up in a tackle. And the umpire will ball it up.
His Griffith opponents are paying plenty of attention to Jack Powell. His body, he's wearing him closely and pokes him in the chest.
Foley and Richards. Foley taps that down. Into the path of Spencer there, back to Northey. Good tackle there by Foley on his Griffith opponent. The ball kicked high by Norby. Sitting under this is Sam Martin and Whitworth. Sam Martin tries to gather it in. He's pushed in the back. Play on, says the umpire. Players diving in on the ball here, and the umpire asks for a ball up. Ball's thrown high. Foley taps this down to Tom Powell for Griffith there, and he's wrapped up in a strong tackle.
Tried to bullock his way out, Andrew, but Lions weren't going to have that. A few deep breaths taken by all players.
Ball's thrown up, tapped down by Foley, gathered by Griffith there onto Northy, tries to break one tackle, and he's caught with the ball.
Yeah, plenty of latitude. He really didn't make an attempt to get rid of it.
You want to be careful here, he's laying on top of it, but Jack Sussay's got this one, kicks wide, looking for Ben Walsh. Over the top to Sam Martin. Forces this one wide, looking for Jack Connolly. It's gone over his head, gathered by Tom Sussay. Looks to swing around on his left. He's tackled as he kicks the ball, comes inside to Dan Foley. Griffith, opponent, dodges under that one, and he's wrapped up in a tackle there by Dan Foley.
We'll see the ball up out there in front of the scoreboard, just to the left of the scoreboard. Lions attacking side.
Tap down to Jack Powell, breaks one tackle, looks to come inside it. Finds to Matt Hamlin, takes a mark, 45 metres out on a pretty tight angle.
Really come into this quarter, Andrew. Starting to get on top of his Swans opponent.
He looks to go short, looking for Jake Sullivan. He flies high, can't take the mark. Gathered by Conlon there for Griffith. Clearing kick, gathered by Whitworth as the siren goes.
Much better quarter for the Lions there. We've got the half-time scores here at the Den. The Lions 6-7, 43. The Swans 6-4, 40. And Andrew, yeah, the Lions did much better in their attack. You know, moved that ball a bit longer, a bit quicker. Used the breeze. Didn't get caught wide so much. So a much improved Lions quarter, I reckon.
Yeah, so the Lions need to regroup here. They've learned their lessons from that first quarter. That Griffith were very strong, so the Lions need to regroup here at half-time and
yeah, well, look, we know the Swans will come out after half-time and they'll have the breeze if it keeps up. It's up again there now, but it might fade a bit in the afternoon. But the Swans will be a little bit disappointed with their quarter to let the Lions back in it. So commentators and camera operators and Tammy will all have a drink and a break, as the players will, and we'll come back with the second half of the game.
Ganmain and District Sports Club, a place to celebrate and much, much more.
Ganmain Bakery and the famous Ganmain pies. If you can bake it, we make it.
Great pub accommodation and icy cold beers. Ganmain Hotel for good quality pub grub.
So we're back here now at the Lions ground, home ground, Ganmain Sports Ground, the Den, after the half-time break. Players take their positions. Andrew's been in the rooms, and he might also have some scores from the other RFL games today.
yeah, well, it's Lions here looking to learn by their mistakes in that first quarter when it was all Griffith. Yes, and Jack Rouston's had a great start to the game, so he's one player they identified that they need to keep in check. And yeah, quarter time scores I had there was Colin Gully were in front of Turvey Park, Wagga Tigers were in front of Narandra by 30 odd points, and Mangapla were well in front of Leeton. So back to the start of this third quarter. Richards punches it forward there, gathered by Proctor, and he's wrapped up in a Richards tackle to start this third quarter. Richards, front position, taps it down to Baxter, Swings around, gets a kick cleared. Forward there for the Griffith, gathered by Burhop. He's wrapped up in a tackle. No prior, and the umpire's going to ball it up 30 metres out from Griffith's goal.
Well, all we can ask for, Andrew, is a good game fought out like the first half.
Yes, Foley taps that down to Kirkman. Can't get his kick away. Gathered by Jack Sussay. Regathered again by Jack Sussay. Gets his hand pass on to Tom Quinn, and he's bundled over the sidelines.
We'll have a throw in out there, and that part of the ground being sponsored by Michael McCormack. He's the member of Riverina, sitting on those opposition benches at the moment.
Ball's thrown in. Tapped over the back there by Foley. Gathered by Whitworth. Breaks one tackle. Gets a hand pass away to Girdler. Dodges around one. Back inside to Baxter. He's wrapped up in a tackle. And the umpires call for a ball up.
I was a bit worried for a minute. I thought there was going to be a high tackle there. But
yeah, it did look that way, Guy, didn't it? Foley in the ruck. And Northey coming through as Kilpatrick. He tries to break one tackle. Chips one forward to Northey. Kicks one through, looking for Delves. It's gone through his hands, though, and it's through from behind. Burhop looks to play on here from defence. Comes wide to the shed side. Chips one over the side, looking for Jack McKegg. Ball's cut off there by Barter. Dodges around one. It's going to send this in long, but that's all the Lions there as Ben Walsh takes the mark. Deep in defence. Chips one over the top, looking for Sam Hamlin. Lions look to run this out. Hand pass on to Jack Sussay. He holds this up. Looks to come inside, and ball's on the ground there in front of Aaron Proctor. He gathers. Gets his hand pass away. Play on, says the umpire. Turnover here from the Lions there, and it's wrapped up by Griffith. Regathered by Proctor. Back to Aaron Proctor again, and the umpire calls for a ball up. Very sloppy play to start this third quarter, Guy.
Yeah, that kick wasn't good enough to Proctor, and Lions got held up there. The kick wasn't high enough for him to grab that mark, even though he is low to the ground and good with those low to the ground skills. The kick wasn't up to it.
Richards down to Kilpatrick, on to Gurley. He tries to break around one. The ball spills three. Comes to Matt Hamlin. He gathers. Hand pass on to Jake Fairman. Runs through the centre of the ground, kicks high. Sitting under this is Jack McKegg.
Oh, pushed under the ball, I think.
No, the umpire calls a mark to young Conlon. Looks to come across looking for Conlon, but the kick doesn't find his target. Gathered by Lucas Hattie. He's grabbed by the collar. On to Jack Powell. Chips one over the top, looking for Tom Sussay.
Yeah, good running there from Tom Sussay. Just as well I'm not an umpire, Andrew. I don't know the rules, but looked like a push to me, but doesn't matter. The Lions have got it inside their 50, and the result is Tom Sussay good enough to take that mark well inside his distance. Should be a relatively easy shot on goal for him. Kick from about 25. Come in, right foot, very deliberate.
He likes it.
Straight over the goal umpire's head. Tom liked it the minute it left his boot.
First goal of the third quarter to the Lions.
The Lions 7-7-49, Swan 6-5-41. Just 4 minutes gone. So good opener there for the Lions.
Sam Martin will be pleased with that, although it's been sloppy this first 5 minutes of the quarter. Griffith had those couple of forward entries, but couldn't get a goal.
Yeah, they couldn't convert.
Foley and Richards in the ruck. Foley gets the tap down forward into the path of Kirkman. He's wrapped up in a tackle. Gets his hand pass away. Gathered by Kilpatrick. Dodges around Butterfield. Kicks this one wide, but it's a race for the ball between the speedsters. Rosengreen and Fairman. Both fall over. Gathered by Fairman. Gets a hand pass out to the side to Sam Martin. Back inside to Fairman. Sends this one into the forward line on a strong leader's Peck, and he marks it on his chest. 40 metres from goal.
Good lesson there for all other young fellas, Andrew. Have a look at Jake Fairman there. He ran, contested, and when he thought it was lost, he just ran, was able to regather and kick it on to Peck. Pecco will kick from 45, he'll have to let go. Goal umpire doesn't move, I reckon.
They like it.
Yeah,
Great
they do.
goal of Jeffro Peck.
Winger. Yep. Doesn't matter. Yep.
Yeah, good start to the Lions. Lions 8-7, 55, Swans 6-5, 41. Only 5 minutes
Push
gone.
across to the far one, Jacko.
We're going to see what the Swans are made of. If they can counter this Lions attack.
Yeah, the Lions have got the first 2 goals of this third quarter at that non-scoring end.
Plenty of support down here from the Swans reserves on the boundary line, giving their guys plenty of encouragement.
Foley and Richards in the ruck. Bodies crash. The ball's at the feet of Matt Hamlin. He can't gather it in. Diving on is Baxter. Gets a quick clearing kick. Front position here for Spencer. He regathers. He's wrapped up in a tackle and the umpire will call for a ball up. Good pressure there by Proctor and Quinn for the Lions.
Yeah, they're pretty close checking backmen, those two, Andrew.
Richards comes barging through there and deemed to shepherd out Dan Foley in the ruck.
It's a good tussle in that ruck.
Yeah, it's been a real good contest between these two premier ruckmen of the league. The ball's kicked high, almost rucked by Ralston onto Matt Hamlin. Shunts one forward there. Under it is Tom Sussay. He regathers, kicks high, but it's drifting wide. Under it is Jack McKeag. Almost marks. The ball's forced through from behind.
Just couldn't make it, Jack.
He lunged at it, but
Yeah.
fingertips. Ralston to bring it back in. He's got out to the broadcasting side, but he's picked out Tom Benulis. He elected to play on. Dodges around Kilpatrick. Back inside to Quinn. He kicks this one high into the goal square. Under it is Peck. And McKeag down to the path of Matt Hamlin. Tries to bust through. He leaves it behind and deemed to be caught with the ball. Good pressure there by Kernel. Kick by Perezi. Finds Bartas. He looks to go into the centre of the ground. Delves leads for this one. It goes over his head. Cut off by Ben Walsh. Chips one over the top looking for Matt Hamlin. He can't gather. Gathered by Barter. Goes wide. He's got Kilpatrick on his own. He can play on. Comes back into the centre of the ground. Kicks long. Seb Hamlin with front position. Takes a good strong mark.
Yeah, read it all the way. Never took his eyes off it, Andrew, even though he knew he was going to get bodied by his opponent.
Confidence boosting mark there to Seb Hamlin. He goes wide to Sam Martin. Comes back to Seb Hamlin in front of the goals. Umpire calls play on. Going to go short looking for Benulis, but it's gone over his head. Gathered by Tyson. On that trusty left foot, he sends it up to the hot spot. Under it is Ben Walsh, ever reliable. Takes a good mark over the top of Tom Powell. Goes wide to Sam Martin. Chips one over the top. Lions can run on here to Jack Connolly. Can come inside. Hand pass to Burhop. He's under pressure though. Swings one way, then the other. Chips one short looking for Matt Hamlin. In front of Baxter, he takes the mark. Can come back inside to Mahon. Hand pass over the top to Aaron Proctor. He can send this into the forward line there. Chips low looking for Anderson. Strong pressure there by Anderson on his Griffith opponent. Both are down as Peck swings one towards goal. The ball bounces. Picked up by Kilpatrick. Tries to get around one. Back to Kernel. Gets a hand pass to Ralston. He can swing wide here. Wrapped up in a tackle. And he's thrown it. And it's a free kick to Sullivan.
Players from both sides still wearing that bump out there, Andrew. The Griffith player still on the ground.
Tom Anderson's got to his feet.
Tom Anderson on his feet.
He'll come to the sideline to be assessed.
We'll focus on the kick for
It's
the
young
moment.
Conlon, Isaac Conlon for Griffith.
Yep.
Slow to get to his feet. Just good attack on the ball from both parties.
No, cross might have gone right across to be over. Yeah,
Out of bounds.
Not on the full, but throw in. Right in front of the Riv Hotel and Mark Bradley plumbing there from Coolaman. Of course, the Riv Hotel in Wagga there. Got those terrific counter meals. Best burger in Wagga.
Tom Anderson with a cut to his right eye. Will have to be looked at. This ball's kicked out of defence by Griffith there. Numbers for the Lions. Burhop pounces on this one. Back to Jack Sussay. He gathers. Can come across to Seb Hamlin. Lions have numbers on this side of the ground. He can play on. Takes one bounce. Decided where he's going to go. Chips one over the top to Tom Sussay. Marks in front of the sheds. He's held up. Called to play on. Chips one low. It's grub it into the arms of Bernoullis, shrugs one tackle, then another, onto Tom Quinn, onto Tom Sasse, wide to Kirkman. He can send this long for the Lions, under it is Peck, but it's marked by Colonel there. He plays on quickly. Ball's on the ground there, gathered by Mahon. Can't clutch it in. Grabbed by Spencer. Back to Baxter. Hand passes over the top to his mate Kilpatrick. Dodges around one. Dodges around two. Sends this one long for the Swans. Under it is Norby. Takes a mark. Delves is all on his own in the goal square.
If he looks up Andrew, he's got him.
As Sam Martin gets back, under it is Delves. Good pressure by Martin there. Ball spills 3 numbers for the Lions. Ben Walsh onto Martin, onto Jack Sasse. Lions run through the centre of the ground through Jack Powell. Can go back to Jack Sasse. Goes looking forward for Aaron Proctor on that half forward flank. He takes a mark. He's got Peck on a good strong lead. And he's judged it the better of his Griffith opponent and takes a mark in front of DeMamel. And he'll go back and have a shot on goal.
A little bit of a blue there from the Swans at the other end, Andrew. He didn't quite... I don't think he realised that he had a guy...
all on his own,
yeah,
didn't he?
meters. He had metres to spare, and Lions were able to cover him by the time he woke up to the kick.
Peck, similar position to that last shot on goal.
Yeah, what's he learnt?
So who goes out?
Not quite. Carries the pack. Throw in, I think. No, one behind.
One behind to the Lions, across the front of goal.
He goes half back, he goes half forward.
Ball brought in by Perezi, finds Baxter. He can come wide to Kilpatrick. Takes a mark on the half-back flank for the Swans. He's got Richards on his own, on the wing. That closes. Goes long, looking for Norby. Good pressure there by Jack Sasse and Mahon. Norby gathers it in. He's wrapped up in a tackle by Quinn. Breaks one tackle. He's caught with the ball. Good pressure from the Lions. Looks to switch the ball. He's got Ben Walsh wide, but there's pressure here by Griffith. Takes a good mark in front of Rosengreen. Hand pass though goes over the head of Martin. Pressure by Rosengreen. Kicks a clearing kick wide and finds Conley. Lions out of danger. Comes inside, finds Ben Walsh in the centre of the ground. Gets a hand pass back to Martin. The hand pass once again hits the ground. Gathered by Martin onto Seb Hamlin. He's tackled high.
Yeah, high tackle.
Quick hand pass quickly to Ben Walsh. He plays on, looking for Bernoullis. Comes out to meet as he's met solidly by Girdler. And the umpire's deemed to be caught high there. It's Matt Hamlin there. Will take the free kick.
Outside the 50, so he probably looked to give it off.
He plays on as Richards disputes the umpire's decision. The ball's going high into the goal square. Oh, what a beauty from Jake Sullivan. In the goal square, up high, marks it on the chest.
Terrific mark. He'll kick from dead in front, outside the 10, 15 metre mark, straight over the goal umpire's head.
If a lot of our older supporters can remember the day that... I can't think of his first name, Gooden from East Wagga, stood on the shoulders of Bear Gibson. Laurie Gibson that day was very reminiscent of that one, Guy.
Yeah, it's great to see the occasional high mark in the game. It's gone out of a little bit, Andrew, but it's starting to creep back in the AFL. Great to see, even at this level, that high mark. He didn't even fumble it, timed it perfectly.
It was a ripper. Back to the centre of the ground. Richards and Foley clash into each other. The ball comes free to Kilpatrick. He kicks one out of the centre wide. Race for the ball between Rosengreen and Fairman. It's been a good tussle between those two youngsters, and Rosengreen finds Delves.
Swans will look to reply here.
He's about 35 metres out from goal.
They're under pressure all of a sudden. Well, it's only a 22-point lead to the Lions. Breeze picks up a little bit again, so they'll be looking to put a couple more on before three-quarter time.
Kick looks good, and it's a quick reply by Griffith.
Yep. Plenty of support here for the Swans today. The Lions 9-9-63, the Swans 7-5-47. 15 minutes gone here in the third quarter at the Den. Ball back in the middle now. Plenty of talk. Good skills on display, Andrew, here today.
Richards grabs that out of the ruck and he's wrapped up in a tackle. Ball up once again. Richards and Foley. Richards taps that one forward into the path of Tom Quinn. The ball eludes him. Picked up by Tom Power. Kicks this one forward. Race for the ball there by Griffith in Billy Evans, and he's forced it out over the sideline there.
We'll have a throw in there. We've got Ag and Vet Services, Waterview Street, Ganmain, and down there at Grong Grong. I'll give you all that cropping advice.
Bernulis comes into the ruck against Richards. Richards with front spot. Palms it backwards. It's Powell on Powell here. Jack Powell wraps up his brother Tom Powell in a strong tackle, and the umpire called for a ball up.
Not much love lost there while the game's going, Andrew.
No. Ball thrown again. Bernulis jumps early, but it's gathered by Richards out of the ruck. Sends this one high, and it's forced out over the sideline there by Seb Hamlin.
We'll have a throw in there in front of Ganmain Pharmacy. We've got 10 down there in the main street.
As Richards comes to the sideline for a spell, Nayland comes on for Griffith. Bernulis and Northey in the ruck. Bernulis tries to grab it out of the ruck. Ball's picked up by Seb Hamlin. Tries to barge through. The ball's on the ground there, players trying to pick it up. The umpire call for another ball up. It's going nowhere.
Lions look to clear from the Swans attack.
Bernulis and Northey in the ruck. Bernulis taps it forward into the path of Powell. He breaks one tackle, gets a hand pass to Matt Hamlin. Clearing kick, but it's high. Under this is Connolly and Tyson for Griffith, and it's over the sideline.
Real rainmaker, Andrew, but no rain in sight.
No, not a cloud in the sky. Griffith's got two ruckmen putting their hands up here, Nayland and Northey. Should be a kick to the Lions here.
Well spotted up, Andrew.
As Bernulis breaks away from this contest, takes one bounce, two bounces, gets a hair pass inside to Matt Hamlin, sends this one high, under it is Foley and Lucas, through the hands of Foley. Kuhnel misses the bounce, picked up by Tom Sussay, he has a shot on goal, and it's just drifted across the post.
Across the face, yep.
Across the face for a behind.
Bad blue from the Swans there with that throw in. Andrew spotted early, two ruckmen.
They both had their hands up.
Always a free kick against you in that situation. The let-off was the Lions didn't capitalise on that entry so far. Just one behind. They'll be looking to contain it inside their 50, get possession and go again. As we see the Ganmain Bowling Club in view there with that new synthetic green we're enjoying.
Parisi to bring this one back in. Comes to the broadcasting side, goes low. Under it is DeMamel, takes a mark in front of Jake Sullivan. Right on the 50. Left foot kick brings this in high. Under this is Bernulis. Doesn't take the mark. He was the only one up, but the ball spilled through to Girdler. Good tackle by Quinn there on Barter. Comes through to Matt Hamlin. Picked up by Powell. He shrugs one tackle onto Jack Sussay. Swings high, but under this is Kuhnel. And he takes the mark. Cross half back there for Griffith. 19 minutes gone in this third quarter. Chips one wide, looking for Tyson here. And he takes a mark in front of the broadcasting box. Looks to come inside. Delves on a strong lead. Good pressure there by Jack Sussay. Delves could see him coming. Picked up by Ben Walsh onto Jack Powell. And a good smother there by DeMamel. And the ball goes over the sideline there in front of Jake Sullivan. It'll be a throw in.
Unusual rare spill of the mark there by Tom Bernulis, Andrew, but he's only human. A lot of talk, a lot of information coming from the sideline as to what the Swans players should do from their reserves.
Balls comes in, tapped down by Foley, onto Sullivan, onto Quinn. Chips one over the sop, looking for Tom Sussay through the hands of Lucas. He regathers, kicks it wide. Good pressure by Jack McKegg into the path of Rosengreen. Takes a mark on that far side in front of Fairman. Looks to come inside and looks for Barter. Takes one low to the ground in the centre of the ground, can play on quickly. Go wide, looking for Kilpatrick. Looks to run inside, palms off one tackle. Hand passes over the top, looking for Cunall, who's pushed down from defence. On to Griffith again, back inside to Kilpatrick. The Swans trying to get a goal out of this one. Northy's wrapped up in a tackle, breaks one, back to Kilpatrick. Goes high to the goal square, but it's all Lions there. It's a mark to Burhop in front of Richards.
Got to go back behind his mark, I think.
I think the Lions players think they might have got a 50, but it's not. Burhop back across goal to Ben Walsh, comes inside to Seb Hamlin. Swans have cut off those leads. Comes to the centre of the half-back region there to Jack Powell. Looks to play on quickly. Goes low and finds Richards there in the centre of the ground. Can chip one over the top and finds young Billy Evans there. He'll go back and have a shot on goal. Turnover from the Lions.
Yeah, this could be a very costly turnover there. And just prior to that, Tom Quinn was coming to the bench after a very hectic quarter. He's having a lot of one-on-one with his opponent. Get ready for the last quarter. So the Swans here will kick from 45. Bit of a breeze behind him. It's home all the way.
Griffith edge back closer.
Costly one there for the Lions. Turned it over in defence. Lions 9-10, 64, Swans 8-5, 53. 22 minutes gone in the third quarter.
Richards back into the centre here against Benoulis. Neither player can tap that one down, but it's the bounces bounce forward towards Benoulis. Gathered by Baxter, and he's caught with the ball. Swans play on quickly. On to Evans, but he's wrapped up in a tackle. And the umpire deemed he didn't have Pryor. There's Pryor. Umpire's changed his mind, and it's a free kick to Seb Hamlin. The unadjudicating umpire has overruled, and he's come wide and found Ben Walsh. Tips forward, looking for Burhop. Finds him, hooks one around the corner in front of Martin. He needs a good bounce here, but the ball's bounced over the sideline in front of the box. With a bit of push and shove now in front of the Griffith box.
A little bit unusual for Sam Martin to be sucked in, Andrew, so I don't know whether it was physical or verbal. What happened there? Settle down now.
Umpire's going to throw this one in. Benoulis and Richards in the ruck. Gathered by Kilpatrick. Can't pick it up. Gathered by Barter. Ball comes out the back to Benoulis. Dodges around 1, 2, 3. Gets a hand pass to Conley. He goes to come back inside. Gets one onto Susse. The Lions are under pressure here. Comes back inside for his brother Jack. Spins around. Goes wide. Bit of relief here out to Benoulis. He can come outside to Martin. Can run this down. Hasn't got nothing to go too much, and it's almost cut off by Cunlall. Colonel there, and it's out over the sidelines. Siren goes. Three-quarter time.
So the three-quarter time scores here at the Den. The Lions 9-10, 64. Swans 8-5, 53. Bit of a frantic quarter and a little bit of a few mistakes there by both sides late in the quarter, Andrew, but that's what pressure does. It's always easy from up here. Not sure what sucked Sam Martin in over there, but he'll be wanting to forget that and bring home the last quarter here for the Lions. Lions will come home with a breeze here. Probably more of a psychological help than anything else. So we'll all take a drink and a break. Bring you the last quarter here of this entertaining game of AFL football in the Riverina heartland.
Ganmain News Agency, open 7 days. Lotto, newspapers, the list keeps going. Need some residential or commercial renovations and roofing? Call Matt at RJS Construction.
Spectators leave the huddles, clear the ground. Andrew, what have we got this last quarter? Tight game?
Yes, a tight game. 11 points in it.
Let's go, boys.
Lions kicking to the scoring end, but Griffith have been up to the task today.
The last of the stragglers leave the northern end of the ground. Umpire not taking any risks.
Foley and Richards in the ruck. Richards taps that one down forward into the path of Baxter. Swans forward, but it's a good mark by Jack Sussay in defence in front of Tom Powell. He looks to go wide. Checks over his shoulder, there's no one coming. Looks for Dan Foley on that far wing, takes a mark in front of Richards, onto Sam Martins. Lions look to move this quickly. Finds Tom Quinn on the wing there. Looks to come inside. He's got Kirkman under this one. It's almost marked by Jack McKeag. Regathers, gets one onto Jake Fairman, onto Bernoullis, back to Jake, Tom Sussay that is, and he has a shot at goal, first goal for the Lions. Just what they needed, the start of this final term.
Yeah, first goal for the Lions in the fourth term, inside a minute. Lions 10-10-70, Swans 8-5-53. Jack Sussay, Andrew, took that mark in defence there. He's come into the game, been reasonably solid down there in the back line.
Yeah, he's had, after that first quarter, he's really come into this game.
Yep. Playing with a fair amount of confidence. The Lions were able to set up on the far side of the ground. We wait for the ball to come back into the centre.
Richards and Foley. Been a real tussle between these two all day. No one wins that tap. Comes into the path of Kilpatrick there. He breaks away from the centre square. Sends this long for Griffith. Under it is Seb Hanlon. Goes through his hands there. Gathered by Griffith. They can't pick it up. So players dive in on this one, and umpire call for a ball up. It's about 20 metres out from Griffith's goals. Foley in the ruck, taps it down to Seb Hamlin. He's wrapped up in a tackle. Umpire called to ball it up again.
Lions need a clearing kick here.
Foley taps it back over his shoulder to Proctor. Gets one out wide and he finds Kirkman on the 50. Lions escape. Goes forward and finds Lucas Hattie. Finds Jake Fairman in front of the broadcasting box. Lions look to execute the Swans' defence. Kicks this down the line. Under this is Bernoullis. Goes through his hands. Gathered by Jack McKeag onto Jack Powell there. He's got a clear run at goal, but he's wrapped up in a tackle there. Tries to break the tackle of Colonel, but he's caught with the ball.
Yeah, no argument there. Once he took a few steps, went to a fend off, and then was brought down, so he can't argue.
Colonel looks for Rosengreen, finds him in the centre of the ground. Quickly played on it into Whitworth. Chips over the top there. Marked by Kilpatrick in front of the broadcasting box. Looks to come inside quickly, dodges around Fairman. Sends it long and low. Good anticipated lead from Delves there. And he's marked it 35 metres out from goal. Very clever there by Kilpatrick. And Delves knew exactly where that kick was going to go.
Yeah, great centering kick. The Lions players thought he's going the boundary, but he straightened up. Good across field kick.
Delves sends this one its way. It's going to land on the line, is it? And it's touched.
Yeah, he's just a bit careful with his kick there, Andrew.
Yep.
He'd like to have that again.
No Griffith forwards there on that line to help that one through either. As Martin comes wide to Seb Hamlin. Chips one over the top to Kirkman. Back to Seb Hamlin. Hand pass is spilt. Gathered by Griffith there. Sends this one back inside to Kilpatrick. It's gone over his head. It's gone through players. Picked up by Bartel. Tries to dodge around one. And he has a shot at goal. It's through from behind. Good pressure from Ben Walsh.
Yeah, let off there for the Lions because the Swans looked like they were going to redeem that missed goal.
Nardo Sam Martin attempts to go wide again. Marked by Dan Foley on the 50. Quickly on to Matt Hamlin. Goes wide. Pressure there by Tom Tyson out over the sideline. It'll be a throw in.
Got a throw in out there. We've got on the left, we've got Cobra Apparel with all that gear that he organises for the Lions, and supporter gear and training gear, and the Coolman Steelworks. Great job of those chaser bins. Be plenty of those farmers, those rice farmers down around Griffith have got those Coolman chaser bins, Andrew.
Ball comes in from the throw in. No ruckman touches. Picked up by Butterfield onto Kirkman. Goes wide on the far wing, then finds Matt Hamlin. Lions a long way from goal. Chips one back to Kirkman.
Fair few possessions for Kirk too.
He's had a pretty handy day. Looks to send this one long. It's kicked high. Sitting under it is Richards though. It's gone through his hands. Tapped on by Jack McKegg to Connolly. Tries to get a hand pass away, and Tyson quite content to let that one go over the sideline. 45 metres from the Lions' goal. Benulis and Richards in the ruck. Benulis with front position. Taps it forward to Powell. Over the top, looking for Connolly there. The ball just eludes him as it rolls over the sideline. Another throw in, a bit closer to goal to the Lions.
They're working it round the boundary, but they might have to straighten up shortly and go direct.
Richards with front position, but Benulis has grabbed it out of the ruck. He's wrapped up in a tackle, and he's deemed to be caught there. Free kick to Griffith. They go wide, looking for Northey through the hands of Girdler, gathered by Northey. Hand pass is smothered there by Matt Hamlin, and it's out over the sideline. Another throw in front of that scoreboard.
Right in front of Regal signs. Great sponsors, great sign work. Ground looks a treat, Andrew, with the sponsors and the...
Yeah, Foley taps that down to Mahon. Gathered by Matt Hamlin. Swings around high, looking for Connolly, and the umpires deemed it was touched off the boot, I think. And it's going to be a throw-in right in front of the scoreboard now.
The number one sponsors there, Logan and Hitchens. And of course, we've got Howard Martin on gate duty here for the Lions.
Richard tries to swat that one forward. It's picked up by Foley through the hands of Tom Sussay. Benulis wraps up his opponent there in a tackle. Kuhnel.
Lions have had a lot of the ball, Andrew. They'll be looking for a goal.
Richards and Benulis. Richards with front position. Taps it down to Wallace. Gathered by Richards. But he's tackled by Mahon. And the umpire will say, give it to me. Throw it up again. Benulis taps that down to Mahon. He's wrapped up in a tackle. Can't get it out. And the umpires call for another ball up. This is going nowhere. A real tactical tussle there in the forward line, but Richards grabs this out of the ruck, sends it forward there. Under it is Martin and Powell. No one can mark it. Gathered by Jack Sussay. He's wrapped up in a tackle there by Whitworth, and the umpire will ball it up.
Once again, no prior.
Foley and the Richards in the ruck. Richards gathers it out of the ruck. He's done on quite a few occasions today. Kicks this one forward, looking for Hamlin. Coming through is Ben Walsh. Hand passes over the top to Tom Quinn. Clearing kick there by Martin onto Hamlin. Back to Sam Martin. Chips one inside. Finds Dan Foley. Back to Sam Martin. The Lions on the run here. Can send this in long. Looking for Aaron Proctor. Tries a one-handed mark. Ball's on the ground there. Gathered by Griffith. Good shepherd there by Jack McKegg. Dives on top of this one. The umpire will call for a ball up, Guy.
Lucas Hattie to the bench and Burhop back on the ground, Andrew. Yeah, Lions did all the body work there, but he couldn't, he left it a bit late to drag the mark in.
Benulis tries to grab that out of the ruck, and he's deemed to be caught with the ball. Free kick to Tyson. He's got a player all on his own, Northey on that far wing.
Andrew,
takes a mark.
Andrew, the Swans players are a bit of a wake-up to Tommy Benulis. He hasn't got time to get it out of that ruck today by himself.
Yes, mainly been tackled by his UNSW Bulldogs mates too.
They're
right onto him.
He knows his play well.
As Bactus got this on the far wing, plays on quickly. Ball's gone over the top there, looking for Kilpatrick. Picked up by Jack Sussay. Tries to get his hand pass back inside. Good pressure there by Kilpatrick. Gathered by Whitworth. Kicked high. Under this sits Tom Quinn. It's gone through his hands there. Nealon tries to pick it up, but he's bundled over the sideline, and it'll be a throw in on that far 50.
Yeah, we've got the Kemba boys out there at Mangain with their Border Leicester stud. That's Gleneath Park out there.
Foley and Nayland in the ruck. Tap down to Powell. Onto Seb Hamlin on his right foot. Kicks this one forward. It's bounced over the top of Bernulis and Lucas. Bounce eludes the Lucas as well, but it's out over the sideline. It's a bit of throw in.
And another Coolman sponsor there, Stephen Patterson with his Bobcat hire. And it's great to pick up there. Andrew gave us the tussle there with Tom Bernulis. Andrew's got that player DNA. He knows where they've played before and who they've played against. It's really good.
Foley and Nayland in the ruck. No one can win that tap. Ball's on the ground there. Gathered by Perezi. Gets a hand pass back to Nayland. Out the back to Lucas. His kick smothered. Diving on the ball is Marn for the Lions. And wrapped up in a tackle there. The umpire will call for a ball up.
She's developed into one of those rugby union type mauls, Andrew. It's not far, going nowhere fast.
Yes, it's not getting out in the open at the moment. As Bernulis taps this down into the path of Marn. He can't get his hand pass away. Gathered by Matt Hamlin. Breaks 2 tackles of his Griffiths opponents. Breaks a third and sends this one high into the forward line. Sitting under this is Peck. It's gone over the back into the path of Aaron Proctor. Gathered by Jack Conley. But it's out over the sideline.
Yeah, one step.
It beats him.
Yeah, the sideline beat him there. Thought concept was good. He thought, I'd just grab this and I'll have enough time to run around. The line crept up on him.
Foley and Tyson in the ruck. Foley grabs this one out of the ruck. Gets a hand pass back to Jack Powell. On to Kirkman. Gets one wide to Conley. Looks to come inside there. He's got Jack McKegg under this, and he used his body well there, Jack McKegg, to get to the front position, and he marks in front of Queenell there.
Good presence of mind there from Conley, Andrew. He looked up. He probably thought after that last effort, I thought I've got a second chance here. I could have a go at this myself, and must have been great talk because he centred it there, and a good mark. Good mark to Tom Quinn. He's had a hell of a tussle today with his Swans opponent. Jack McKegg, sorry.
Jack McKegg, yes, yep. Kicks on its way, and it's straight through the middle.
No mistake about that one.
Probably our leading goal kicker on the forward line there, 2 or 3, I'm not sure, Guy.
Yeah, no high goal kickers today, Andrew. It's been that type of day. The Lions 11-10-76, Swans 8-7-55. 12 minutes gone now. We'll see what the Swans are made of.
Richards is off the ground at this stage, so it's Nayland in the ruck against Bernulis.
Well, Lions need to capitalise on that. Richards spelling.
Bernulis taps that one down, but it's at his feet. Just catches Tom Powell high.
Got to come back behind the mark. Lions got time to set their defence.
Jack Rowson gets possession now, kicks this into the forward line, looking for Nayland there. Racing for the ball is Kirkman, gathered by Jake Fairman, gets his kick away high. Sitting under this is Jack McKegg. Can't take the mark, picked up by DeMamel. He's tackled in a good tackle there by Peck, and the umpire called for a ball up. Bernulis and Nayland in the ruck. Nayland wins that one down to Barter. Kicks one high, but sitting under it is Kirkman. He takes the mark in front of the sheds.
Strong game, Kirky.
Yes, he's really come into it in the second half. Kicks this one high, looking for Bernulis and Peck. Ball's punched forward there into the path of Jake Fairman. Breaks 1 tackle, breaks 2 tackles. Sends this one forward, looking for Foley. It's gone through his hands. Over the back is Jack McKegg. Tries to keep it in play, but it's over the sidelines. Deep in that forward pocket.
We'll see a throw in there. Alan Harris McDonald, those funeral directors from Wagga. Unfortunately, they've been here again through the week. A few tired boys out there now, Andrew.
There's been a lot of pressure today. That one's kept low, the throw, and the umpire calls for another throw in.
Very physical, so there'll be a lot of ice shared around.
As Richards looks to come back on the ground.
They might grab a beverage out of that ice too, Andrew.
That's right, ball's thrown high there. That's on this occasion, and it's bottled up again. Another ball up.
Still inside the lines, 50. They'd love to add.
15 minutes gone in this last quarter. Ball's thrown high. Foley taps it down into the path of Shannon Butterfield. The ball comes out to Tom Quinn. Has a flying left foot shot at goal. Touched by McKegg on the line. Gathered by Matt Hamlin, and the line score.
Yep.
There's good pressure. Relentless pressure there from the Lions in the forward line. Thought for a moment there Tom Quinn's left foot snap from the boundary line was going to go in, but...
Yeah, that would have brought the crowd to its feet, Andrew, because Tom Quinn's been copying it a little bit here from the reserves, the Swans reserve. Not sure what the relationship is there, but doesn't matter. Matt Hamlin was good enough to swoop on the spills, and he didn't let the Swans off. He majored for the Lions. Lions 12-10, 82. Swans 8-7, 55. You'd near think the Lions have got the better of them now, Andrew, with 16 minutes gone, but Sam Martin won't want to let the Lions think that. He'll want them to put more on.
Benulis and Richards back in the ruck.
Been great ruck battles all day.
Richards taps it down right into the path of Powell, but he's just tackled high there by Benulis. Gets a hand pass quickly on to Barters there. He's kicked high under pressure. Punched forward there by Mahon into the path of Powell. Benulis falls on top of him. The umpire's going to call for a ball up. No, it's come out the back to Matt Hamlin. He breaks away from the contest. Back to Kirk Mahon. He's got to swing around on his right. Looks to come back inside to Tom Quinn. Dodges round one. Goes on his left. Finds Matt Hamlin.
He's going to hold it up for a little bit. Kirk Mahon's the man of the moment in the back line here for the Lions.
Sends this one long and high. Under this is Foley. Ball through his hands. Racing onto it is Sullivan. Picked up by Sullivan there. And he's caught the ball.
Swans calling for a 50-metre penalty, but no, umpire not buying that.
Free kick to Cunell.
Lions can reset their defensive strategy here. Keep it in their half of the ground.
Cunell with the ball, 30 metres out from the Lions' goal. Looks to go up the centre of the ground. Under this is Tom Quinn. Takes a good mark in the centre of the ground. He's had a good second half, Tom Quinn.
Andrew, the Swans player there was calling for options and none given.
No, they've got a bit stagnant, the Swans players. Ball comes to Matt Hamlin. Kicks one high. Under this is Foley. But it's marked on the chest over the back by Shannon Butterfield.
Yeah, once again, the breeze allowed the ball to carry the pack. Well read by Butterfield. He didn't bother flying because he's not endowed with height. He thought my best chance is over the back. That's what happened.
He was assigned the task of curbing Jack Rowson there at quarter time, and he's done a tremendous job in this second half. Butterfield goes back and puts it through.
Picked up a major for his problems, Andrew.
Yep, no, he's had a really good game. He's one of the most improved players in the league.
Biggest lead of the day now for the Lions. 13-10, 88. Swans 8-7, 55. Nearly 19 minutes gone, so I think that's about quelled the Swans, Andrew, but we'll see these last few minutes.
The body language doesn't look good from the Swans at the moment.
No, they come out on top of the world.
Richards grabs out of the ruck, gets a clearing kick.
He's not given up.
He's up the clearance today from that centre bounce. The ball comes forward to Baxter, but picked up by Seb Hamlin. Gets a hand pass to Tom Quinn. He elects to run away from the contest. Kicks one forward to Pereza. He's caught high. Umpires deemed it's going to be a ball up.
I think the high tackle blindsided the umpire there. And
he's looking into the sun.
Yeah. But you're right, Tom Quinn has really come alive in the second half. Probably got the better of his opponent, I think, there since half-time.
Richards uses his brute strength in the ruck there, but the ball's on the ground there. Proctor toes one out of the contest, gathered by Sullivan. Gets a quick forward to Bernulis. He breaks one tackle and gets it forward. Matt Hamlin's in the goal square there, but coming out to meet it is Griffith opponent there. He's caught high. Play on, says the umpire. And the umpire will ball it up.
It was too far from the boundary line there. I thought the Swans were looking for the boundary line, but it was too far to be their friend. It would have been too obvious. So ball up inside the arc of the 50. Lions attacking.
Bernulis in the ruck and Richards. Richards taps that one down. And it's out over the sideline again.
And once again, it'll be a throw in front of Tins Pharmacy down there in the main street of Ganmain. Great supporter of the Lions.
Bernulis and Richards in the ruck. Bernulis taps it forward, but Richards has grabbed it. Kicks it forward, looking for Delves. It's gone through his hands, but he regathers out to Northey. Forward foray here by Griffith from Rosen Green. Griffith opponent dives on the ball there. Comes out the back to Whitworth. Kicks one forward. Pressure from Foley there. Coming through is Jack Sasse. Gathered by Spencer. He has a running shot at goal, and it's a goal to the Swans late in this final term.
That'll lift the Swans a little bit for the last few minutes. Lions 13-10-88, Swans 9-7-61. Bit late, but they're not giving up. Why would they? They've been a competitive side, and they played off in the grand final last year. Lost out to the Bulldogs. So they'll be trying to redeem that for this year. Go one better. Just looks like the Lions have got the better of them here today at the Ganmain Sports Ground.
Richards and Foley in the ruck. Richards taps that down into the path of Baxter. He stumbles as he charges forward there. Hand pass is over the top of Norby, through the legs of Seb Hamlin, on to Martin, on to Tom Sasse, on to Tom Quinn, that is. Back to Burhop. He comes inside, finds Kirkman. He's got Sullivan free on the far side, but comes inside to Tom Quinn. Chips one short, looking for Bernulis, through his hands. Regathered there by Lucas, kicks this high. Numbers under this one for Griffith there, through the hands of Baxter. Bernulis tries to trap it onto Kilpatrick, gets one wide, looking for Rosen Green, is it? He chipped, Gerler it was, he chips one forward there, looking for Nayland. He can't gather, the bounces over the top of Cunel, grabbed by Wallace. He's pushed in the back there in the tackle by Fairman, and he'll take a free kick, Wallace. Of Evans it is.
Pretty hard.
He's 50 metres out from goal.
Pretty hard to avoid that there for the young fellow. Just that momentum, Andrew, wasn't it?
He goes short and finds Norby. And he'll go back and have a shot at goal. He's about 35 metres out. Another attempt to get another late one for Griffith. I think time will run out.
Just adds a little bit of respectability if he goals this one. Comes in on his right foot. No, he's sprayed it wide. One behind, Swans.
Out to the right. Some of his kicks today have tended to drift it that way as Burhop's quick to bring this one in, looking for Connolly, but it's a good mark to Tyson there in front of him. Looks to bring this back inside and finds Whitworth, 45 metres out from goal.
Umpire's call play on.
Puts it into the hot spot. Under this is Richards, through the hands of Nayland, gathered by Jack Sasse. Clears this one wide. He finds Connolly on this occasion. Just holds it up. Asked to play on. Gets his kick away through the hands of Burhop. On to Powell there, gathered by Sullivan. He's wrapped up in a tackle. Tries to get his hand pass away, gathered by Burhop. Back to Marn. Gets one wide to Jack McKegg.
Lions with overlap, Andrew. Game over. Swans fought it out, but the Lions held on, Andrew, for a pretty good win here against a quality side. Lions 13-10, 88, Swans 9-8, 62.
Yes, it was a really good game all day.
Yeah, I reckon there'll be some sore bodies out there, Andrew. Good physical clash, pretty clean, not much spite, bit of crowd involvement, everything you want really in a game of country footy. Enjoyed it thoroughly, I did. I'm sure everybody at the ground did. And the viewers we've got and the viewers that'll search it up on YouTube.
Yeah, no, it was a really good game, Guy, and the Lions keep their winning record intact for 2024, and Griffith will probably go away pleased with their efforts. Like they've challenged the ladder leaders today, and
yeah, I think the Swans, they've got a bit to look forward to for the rest of the year.
Yes, especially if they're like, this is probably their best side today, and with Delves coming in, gives them a target up forward, and their Sydney players who. And they've still got a bit of youth there coming through. So, yeah, they'll be thereabouts. Could be in the 5 at the season's end. It's pretty hard to pick out our good players today. Yeah, Matt Hamlin was good again. Kirk Mahon, Tom Quinn, Shannon Butterfield. And on the Griffith side, Richards was very good for them in the ruck. Northey was dangerous up forward. Kilpatrick was good for the Swans, along with Tyson on that far wing.
Yeah, we enjoyed that ruck duel. We've seen that now for, go back to last year when Griffith dominated. They won that game here and Richards was fantastic. But yeah, we enjoyed that duel today. Tom Quinn had a great duel there on his opponent on the halfback flank, and he really put a stamp on the game after half time, as did Kirk Mahon, solid there in defence. Ben Walsh, yeah, I said last week, 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and Ben Walsh taking pack marks. Not as many today, but still lurking in that defence. And Ben's changed his role. He's gone away from that AFL role, and Ben's become an ambassador and works with that Boys to the Bush campaign. And they got that great night tonight up at the showground. They're having the ball tonight. So you couldn't get a better bloke to be involved in that organisation, Andrew. Young fellas looking for, people to look up for Ben Walsh, working with those young fellas that are lacking role models in their life. And I reckon, well, they've picked a pretty good fella for Ben Walsh to be involved in that program.
Yeah, certainly have, Guy. And yeah, it should be a good night tonight. They've got a Isaac Heaney football jumper and Isaac Heaney's boots. Be a very popular player at the moment at the Swans, probably leading the Brownlow. So it should go for good money.
All right, well, we'll wind it up there. We've said enough, and Baz will play his closing out program, and we'll see you back here in a few weeks for the home game against Turvey Park, the Premiers.
Amazing service and carefully sourced homewares and furniture. Fisher and Farmer.
Coolaman Butchery, a great place to meet up. Yummy yum yum.
For all your AG, vet chemicals, fertilizer and bulk fuel, go to Logan and Hitchens.
Ganmain and District Sports Club, a place to celebrate and much, much more.
Ganmain Bakery and the famous Ganmain pies. If you can bake it, we make it.
Great pub accommodation and icy cold beers. Ganmain Hotel for good quality pub grub.
Ganmain News Agency, open 7 days. Lotto newspapers, the list keeps going. Need some residential or commercial renovations and roofing? Call Matt at RJS Construction.